In this video, let me show you how to make the position versus time graph. Let's just before we do it, let's look at a good example of one. So here's a very nice example. Notice that there are meaningful grid lines on the left side here on the vertical axis. I've divided them into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each one of those is 2 centimeters, right? And then in the horizontal axis, I've divided these into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each one of these is literally a tenth of a second. And then notice that it has a right side to it. This is extremely important because we're going to do tangent lines. And we have to have a plot frame. A plot frame is just a boundary on the edge that we can read. So let me show you how to do this. The position time graph. Look in your data table. If you haven't labeled your columns with units, do that now. So time, parentheses, second, position, centimeters. This will be velocity, right? We'll do that next. And then what you want to do is select the data first, okay? So go in there and select that, and then go insert. So once you've selected it, go insert chart. And it should give you this, okay? If it doesn't give you that, sometimes you have to go in here and scroll. Like if it gives you 2 plots, just scroll down and choose scatter graph. Once you've done that, go in there again and choose one that has like a line on it like that, okay? But usually it comes up with this. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this to its own sheet. Okay, and now what I want to do, the first thing I want to do is I want to give this thing a right side. Notice it just sort of peters out, right? Or when the data is, wherever the data is, it just kind of peters out. So this side is not 5, it's just some random number here. So I'm going to edit the chart, customize, horizontal axis, and what you want to do is tell it to go from 0 to 5. Now if your data goes beyond 5 seconds, then maybe you want to go 0 to 6. Okay, so just there it is, right? Okay, so that's good. And notice how it gave us a nice side to that, okay? And you don't have to do this for the vertical axis, but if there is no top to this, then do that with the vertical axis. Go in here and tell it to go from something to something. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add those grid lines and ticks here. Okay. So notice it says vertical axis. Don't ever use count. Count is very hard to use. You want to make these both step, and let's go step by 10 and step by 2. And that looks good to me. Now, if I said step by 1, that might be a little too busy. It's like, whoa. But if you can read that and you like that, then go step by 1, right? So this is, the first one is the major divisions, and those are the ones that are actually labeled. And then the minor ones are the ones in between, okay? So again, choose vertical axis, choose step, and then I like 10 and 2 for this one, okay? Notice how that's pretty close up there, right? If I wanted to give that a little more room, I might go into the vertical axis and say, and here's where you might want to do it. Let's go 0 to 130. Do I like that better? I kind of like that better. Although now I'm sort of worried that it's crowded on the right side. But anyway, this is good. Okay, so that's how you mess with that. Let's look at the horizontal axis. So in grid lines and ticks, see where it says vertical axis? That's now a pull down, or it always was. Okay, and choose horizontal. Make these both step. Okay, so step, major, minor, step. Let's go 1. By the way, it already is stepped by 1. But I'm going to tell it to do that anyway. I never trust the default behavior. And that, I think 0.1, 1 and 0.1. So horizontal axis, step and step, 1 and 0.1. And then you're good. I think you're good. Notice how it labeled the axes with the column headers. They've got units on them because you did that in the data table. And you are set. Okay. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to print this on a PC. And it'll look a little different here, but I'll show you what happens here. So I'm going to go File and Print, or I actually just do Command P or Control P, I think, from your Chromebook, right? Okay. And then for this guy, you're going to do Landscape, and then fit to width or whatever, and then just Next, and you can print. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.